Insurance is boring, right? Yeah, it is. Like, don't get me wrong. I've been doing it for 9 years, and I do know that insurance is boring. A lot of people are not interested in it until they have to actually use it, until they have to use it, until they have to buy it, until they need it, right? And then all of a sudden, you want to learn everything you need to know about car insurance, right? Well, I'm here to make sure that I give you that information so that way you know how you need to shop for car insurance, how you need to manage your car insurance policy, and I'm going to teach you how to look for the lowest rates and maintain those low rates. Welcome to my channel, Insurance Lady Info, where I'm going to be your new insurance consultant. Here, you're going to get weekly videos of me sharing all of my insurance knowledge that I have for the past 9 years, and I'm so excited to do so. We're going to be talking about auto insurance first. If you kept up with my last 2 videos, I did mention that I'm going to start with auto insurance and then I'm going to move over to home. So if you live in Texas and you want to know more about auto insurance in Texas, make sure that you like and subscribe this video, and subscribe to my channel so you can keep up with all the latest information, all the updated information, and all of the important information that you're going to need for your auto insurance needs here in Texas. And also, if you guys are interested in my consultation services, please feel free to visit my website, insuranceladyinfo.com. And you can book your personal consultation, and I'll help you save money on your auto insurance. So hit me up. So let's get started. So today, what we're going to be talking about is your driver's license status and how it can affect you, and also the different types of auto insurance. I bet you did not know there was more than one type of auto insurance. I'm going to teach you about that today. So there are different types of auto insurance. Yes. There's different types of auto insurance. You have your regular auto insurance policies. Your regular auto insurance policies cover things like cars and trucks and SUVs, right? That's what your regular auto insurance policy covers. Then you have what we call an antique policy. So if you have a vehicle that's older than the 1970s, you can get coverage for that vehicle. So like that 1952 Corvette, sexy. Yes, there is a policy that you can get for that, and does not go on a regular insurance policy. It has to go on its own policy, which is an antique policy. A lot of companies do offer that, but you want to make sure you ask before you start quoting, because there are also a lot of companies that don't offer that. So like for instance, there's a company called Safeco Insurance Company. They cover antique vehicles at very low rates. So don't ever be discouraged if you get one. You can get coverage for that vehicle. Another type of insurance policy that you can get is called a non-owner's policy. So this is something you guys are going to want to listen to, because a non-owner's policy is a policy that not a lot of people know about, and this can help you in the long run when you have an active driver's license but you don't have car insurance, okay? This is going to help you maintain your policy. It's going to help you keep you from getting a lapse. I'm sorry, I can't get my words out. It's going to keep you from getting a lapse in coverage whenever you don't have a car, okay? So a non-owner's policy, that is a policy that you can get when you have an active driver's license, but you do not own a vehicle, but you're driving a vehicle. So for instance, if every week you drive your mother around 2 to 3 times a week, or you're driving your dad's car 2 to 3 times a week, or you're driving somebody else's car 2 to 3 times a week, but you don't own the car. You're just driving it, and you don't even drive it all the time. It's just something that you do. Like I said, your parents are sick and you make sure they get back and forth to the doctor, or you have a particular job where you're driving only the car at that particular time, but you don't take that car home, right? But in the meantime, you personally don't have a vehicle, right? You can get insurance for yourself. It's a liability policy, but it will definitely cover you in an event that you're in an accident and you hit somebody and you cause them property damage and you harm their personal. So it's called a non-owner's policy. Having a non-owner's policy is great for when you have an active driver's license but no car. It will keep you from having a lapse in coverage. See, a lot of times people will say, well, They don't actually, you guys don't really know that whenever you don't have insurance, right, and you end up having a lapse in coverage, if you go more than 30 days with no insurance, then it will be considered a lapse. If you have a lapse in coverage, the very next time you get insurance, you're going to have to pay a penalty for the first 6 months or year that you have your new policy. The reason why it's either 6 months to a year, because that depends on how long your policy period is. So for instance, you lost your car in May, you didn't get another car until August. So you have a lapse in coverage because you did not carry insurance from May until August, right? Now, you decided you went to go buy you a new car and it's time for you to get insurance on that car. But your rates are sky high. You're like, well, I didn't pay that the last time. Well, you didn't pay that the last time because you had continuous insurance. Now you have a lapse in coverage and you must start all the way over, right? You start all the way over and you got to pay that freaking penalty. And sometimes that penalty can be high. So the way you get around that penalty, one of the ways, because there are several ways, but one of the ways you can get around that penalty is by having a non-owner's policy. You can call almost any insurance company and get one. And it's going to cost you a whole lot less than having a regular insurance policy. A non-owner's policy will show up as you having insurance throughout the entire time. So by the time you get a car, you can swap that non-owner's policy for a regular insurance policy, and you don't have to worry about paying a penalty for having a lapse in coverage. Now, like if you go to Allstate, that's a 6-month policy. So for them, you would have to pay that penalty until that 6 months is up. And when it's time for your policy to renew, then that penalty falls off. Liberty Mutual, they're annual policies. So you would have to pay that penalty for the entire year until that policy period ends. And then when it's time to renew, that penalty falls off. But nobody knows that though. People don't understand that when you go without a card and your driver's license is active, that you are going to have that lapse in coverage, and that lapse in coverage hurts you because you have to pay technically a penalty. Now the penalty is not going to be listed on your bill. You're not going to see a separate line specifically for that penalty. It is something that is incorporated in the rate. But that is one of the reasons why if you have a lapse in coverage, the next time you get insurance, your rates are increased, is because you are actually suffering from paying a penalty for not having coverage. And like I mentioned, an active driver's license is really what triggers it. So an active driver's license is basically you got your driver's license, you have not surrendered it, and it has not been suspended or revoked. So if your license has not been suspended or revoked, it's active. If your license is active, you are technically required to carry car insurance the entire time your driver's license is active. Okay? That is how the insurance companies look at that. I do understand under a lot of circumstances, some people cannot afford to have a car. Some people don't live in an area where a car is really necessary, right? Because I know a lot of people who live in New York, they don't have cars because a car is not necessary. But they have an active driver's license. And yes, when they finally get insurance on the car, their rates are going to be high. So keep that in mind, you guys. If you have an active driver's license, but you don't have a car and you don't have a non-owner's policy, yes, your rates are going to be high. So a non-owner's policy, again, is a policy that you can carry on yourself even if you do not have a vehicle. It's specifically for people who do not have a vehicle. That's what a non-owner's policy is. Now, I kind of want to get more into, also another policy that you can get for auto. It's technically considered an auto policy. It's for your trailer, technically. So like if you have like a trailer that you carry things on, that actually goes on your regular car insurance policies. I know some people have trailers and they're not really sure how to cover those trailers. Yes, the trailers go on a regular insurance policy. Not the type of trailer that you live in. The type of trailer that you live in, that's a whole different policy, and we'll get into that later. But the kind that you use to basically travel with cargo, that is actually covered on your regular car insurance policy, so you can just add it on there, okay? So if you did not know that, that's what you would do with that particular policy. So, like I mentioned, you have a regular auto insurance policy, you have an antique car auto insurance policy. And then you also have the non-owner's insurance policy, which I told you, you get that when you have an active driver's license and you're driving a vehicle, but you don't have a car, you don't own a vehicle, that's somebody else's car you drive from time to time. And then you also have the trailer that you add on to your auto insurance policy. So those are the different auto insurance policies that you guys probably did not know about, but now you do know because I told you. So another thing I want to talk about is what happens when you have a driver's license but no car, right? And how you get around that. So like I mentioned, when you have a driver's license, an active driver's license, but no vehicle, and you go and get a car, you have to pay a penalty the next time you get insurance. That's true. And I did say that one of the ways that you can get around not having a vehicle but having an active driver's license is by getting a non-owner's policy. Okay, that's one way. The second way to get around that, so you do not have to pay a penalty, is if you get on somebody else's insurance policy as a driver. Now, granted, that takes a lot of trust because the person who's adding you must trust you. And it is going to affect their rates with them adding you as a driver to their policy. It can make their rates go up or it can make their rates go down. But you guys, it really doesn't hurt to ask because it's a lot cheaper if you doing that than you going without insurance. I'm telling you that penalty can get pretty hefty, you know. So if you have somebody that you can hop on their policy for a short amount of time until you get car insurance yourself, go that route, you guys, because you don't want to pay that penalty. Because if you're on their policy as a driver and then you go get you another car and it's time to shop around and you get insurance, the insurance company is never going to know that you went without insurance because you technically did not go without insurance because you was on somebody else's policy as a driver, right? The key to making sure that you don't pay that penalty for having a lapse in coverage is having insurance in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And like I mentioned, one of the ways is to either get you a non-owner's policy or if you were to get on somebody else's policy as a driver. Now, those are the two best ways to do it, right? The other ways are technically going to not be good ideas because it's going to cause you to have more problems in the end. Like if your license were suspended, and we're actually about to get into that. And if you turned in your license and then get them back. So you don't want to go those two routes, but the two best routes is a non-owner's policy. And also, if you get on somebody else's policy as a driver, if you're able to get on somebody else's policy as a driver, thank them, okay? Thank them. You don't want to be on their policy for more than 6 months, though, okay? You want to be on their policy for at least 6 months, and so that way you can have, because you don't want to make their rates high for a very long time. It's very considerate to, for them if you're on there for less than 6 months. Just basically, long enough time for you to get you a new insurance policy in your name with the vehicle in your name as well. So that's how you get around having an active driver's license with no car. Like I mentioned, if you have an active driver's license with no car, you're going to pay that penalty. And sweetheart, you can't get around it. I don't care if you went to Progressive, to Allstate, to Liberty, to a small insurance company that don't nobody know but the people in your city. They all are going to make you pay that penalty. All of them. Because the insurance companies, they get all their information from this database that's called LexisNexis, okay? LexisNexis holds all of you guys' insurance information. So it doesn't matter what insurance company you go to. They all use the same database. Liberty uses LexisNexis. Progressive uses LexisNexis. Allstate uses LexisNexis. State Farm uses LexisNexis. So you can tell all of them 4 different things, and guess what? They're going to all see it from LexisNexis, okay? So keep that in mind. When you're shopping, all of the companies are seeing the same exact records. All of them are. Their rates are all based on their particular requirements and eligibility that they have, but they all see the same exact information, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, what happens if your driver's license gets suspended? Ooh, a lot of people want to know this, and a lot of people don't know the information about what happens. So let me tell you, if your driver's license gets suspended, you have to get an SR-22 to get your driver's license reinstated. That is going to be determined by the court most of the time. The judge will tell you that if your driver's license gets suspended because of a DUI, because of you driving with no insurance, you driving DWI, because those are two different things. That means, or also too many violations on your vehicle can cause you to get your driver's license suspended as well. And they'll tell you how long your driver's license is suspended for, right? And they'll also tell you how long you need an SR-22. Now, the way you know if you need an SR-22 is from the judge. The court will always tell you you need an SR-22, okay? And when the court tells you that, you must tell your insurance company, okay? If you try to get insurance and you know you need an SR-22 and you don't get one, baby, you're going to get canceled so fast, you're going to get canceled before the month is even over. And guess what? You can't go back to them either. They're not going to take you. You're going to be rejected for life. Okay? Rejected for life. They don't want you no more. You can never go back to them. Okay? You have got to let your insurance company know that you need an SR-22. Now, here's a kicker. A lot of insurance companies don't offer SR-22. I'm sorry. It's because remember I told you guys in the last video, when you're getting insurance, you're asking them to take on a risk that you don't want to carry. And that risk is you, sweetheart. That risk is you. So if you out here driving reckless, driving under the influence, driving intoxicated, not paying your moving violations, you're risky. You are risky. That is too risky for them, and they don't want you. I'm being flat out honest. They don't want you when you risky like that. So if you have an SR-22 and you find, if you need one and you find a company that's gonna cover you, be prepared to pay high rates. No way around that. I'm so sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Be prepared to pay high rates. Baby, you are risky, okay? You are risky. I am so sorry to tell you that, but you are risky, okay? Understand that. It's your fault. It is your fault. And again, I'm not going to be soft with this. I'm going to rip this Band-Aid off because I need y'all to understand that it's not the insurance companies that's trying to screw you. You're screwing yourself. If you keep information from them and you're holding back that information, they're going to find out, sweetheart. Everything you do is reported. When you are on them streets, everything you do on them streets go to the DMV. And the DMV reports that to the national database LexisNexis. And they all use LexisNexis for everything. Okay? Keep that in mind. So don't get mad at the insurance company because you have to pay $432 a month because you got a DUI. You need an SR-22. You can't escape that. You cannot escape that because you went driving, you got drunk, you got in the car, you got stopped, you got a ticket, the judge took your license away. Be mad at them and be mad at yourself because you did it. You cannot get away from that. It was so heartbreaking talking to customers who needed an SR-22, and they're like, man, I went to 5 companies. I can't pay less than $250. No, baby. No. You're going to be shopping forever. I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to be shopping forever. Your market is now up here. You was down here. You got that ticket. Your license got suspended. Now your market is up here, and you're going to have to stay up here for however long they tell you got to stay up there. That is determined by the court. Getting mad at your insurance agent or the insurance company because you got to pay high rates because you was being irresponsible behind the wheel, it's not going to help you none. It's not going to help you none. Because again, like I said, they see the same information. We pull your reports from the DMV. When you give the insurance company your driver's license, that gives the insurance company's permission to pull your motor vehicle report. And on your motor vehicle report, if it shows that license suspended, because I'm going to tell you right now, Liberty Mutual don't do suspended license. Nope. They do not do suspended license. They don't play with that. Progressive does, but you're going to pay $600 a month. No lie. Allstate do $500 a month. State Farm does not do SR22s. They don't want you. You know what I'm saying? AAA might, Geico will take you, but prepare to pay high rates. A SR22 is something that an insurance company does not want to deal with, period. They don't want to deal with it. But if you find one, you're going to pay high rates regardless. And it's not going to benefit you to get on somebody else's policy either, because you're going to make them pay high rates too. So if you get your driver's license suspended, you're going to have to pay high rates because you're going to have to get an SR22 for however long the judge tells you you need that SR22. Now, once you get your license reinstated, then the rates will go back down a little bit, okay? A tiny bit. Because one of the eligibility questions when you're shopping for insurance is, have you had an SR22 in the last 5 years? Or have you had your license suspended or revoked in the last 5 years? 5 years. Magic number is 5 years. That is one of the eligibility questions that the insurance companies need to know prior to giving you insurance. If you had an SR22 in the last 5 years. If you say yes, even though your license is reinstated, they may decide not to keep you or even take you. So keep that in mind too. Now, I know you're probably asking, well, Sonny, I'm not shopping for insurance. I already have insurance and I need an SR22. What's going to happen to me? Well, this is what's going to happen to you. If you already have insurance and you need an SR22 and you call them and you tell them that, be kind of on the lookout for something from underwriting when it comes to your next renewal, because you may get canceled for your license being suspended. You may get canceled. Some insurance companies may not cancel you. Some of them will keep you, like again, Progressive. If you have them and you needed an SR22 and you add it to your policy, your rates gonna go jump. I mean high. Your rates are gonna jump higher than somebody who's had a car accident. But they'll keep you. But like State Farm, if you have State Farm and then you need an SR22 and then you tell them, hey, my license is suspended, I need an SR22, baby, they're gonna cancel your policy faster than you call them and tell them that. Policy is over. If you have an insurance policy and you need an SR22 and you don't tell the insurance company you need an SR22 and you go and they find out, canceled and banned. Nope, you can't come back. Bye. See you later. Have a good day. That's how it affects you if you already have insurance and you need an SR22. Because an SR22 to the insurance companies means you ain't got no license. Your license is suspended. You cannot drive. That's what an SR22 means. And in order for you to get reinstated, in order for the court to reinstate your driver's license, you have to have an SR22. Yeah, it's so crazy because it's like a catch-22, because it's so funny because you can't, with the courthouse, you have to have insurance to get your license reinstated. But the insurance companies don't want you if your license is suspended. Ain't that crazy? Oh my gosh. I used to get hit with that all the time. They used to call me, because I used to work for State Farm, they used to call me and be like, well, how am I supposed to get my license back? Because you can't get your license back until you get insurance, right? I know, right? But the insurance company's like, nah, bro, we don't want you. The answer to that, you got to find somebody. I'm so sorry, but you do have to find a company that's going to take you. And you got to pay high rates. So driving under the influence and driving while intoxicated is going to bite you in the behind more than you think it will. You think the court going to get you. Wait till the insurance company get a hold of you. Because it's not done. That butt whooping is not done when you leave that courthouse. You going to get your butt handed to you when you call to the insurance company. So I want y'all to know that. Let me repeat this. If you have a suspended driver's license, okay? I don't care if you don't have it. Most of the time, suspended driver's license, if it's suspended because of driving without insurance, you have to get insurance. That's when they really make you get insurance. But if you already have insurance, most of the time it's like a DUI or a DWI. Those are the people I used to talk to who already had insurance and had to get an SR22 on their policy, right? That's that scenario. But when I'm talking about people who didn't have insurance and their license suspended because they didn't have insurance and they gotta get it, whoo, baby, good luck. Good luck on that for real, because it's gonna be a lot of companies rejecting you because they don't take SR22s. They don't take that, it's too risky. But like I said, if you find a company that takes SR22s, it's gonna be high. You cannot get around the fact that it's high. It is a surcharge, sweetie. It is a surcharge. That's what happens. Insurance company robbing people. No, you're not telling people that you driving around under the influence. You're not telling people that you've been driving around with no insurance and finally got caught. It's not the insurance company robbing people. You robbing yourself by not obeying the insurance rules when it comes to stuff like that. Not obeying the rules of the road. The rules of the road is you must have car insurance if you're operating a vehicle and your driver's license is active. If you drive on that road with no insurance and get caught and they take your license, the insurance company ain't screwing you. You screwed yourself. You screwed yourself. Because it was cheaper for you to get insurance in the beginning. You decided you didn't want to get insurance. You want to take that risk. And guess what? The risk is biting you in the butt. The risk is biting you in the butt. You got to eat that up. What Zeke do? Eat it up, eat it up, eat it up. You're going to have to eat that up, boo-boo. I'm so sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I've been doing this for 9 years. I'm trying to tell you there is no way around that. There is no way around that. So that's what happens. If you got a driver's license and it's suspended and you need the SR22, you're going to have to work some more. Go. It's time for you to go make some more money. Because you can't get around. If the judge tell you have the SR22, that's it for you. There's no way around that. You might as well go to jail. If you ain't going to pay, go to jail. At that point, you're going to have to go to jail if you ain't going to pay. Because you have no choice but to pay at this point. And it is not cheap. I've never, in my 9 years, seen an SR22 cheap. Never. Never, never, never. I don't even think it exists. So that's all I'm going to talk about today, you guys. I just kind of want to pop in and give you guys a quick lesson on what happens when you don't have a driver's license, and what happens if you have a driver's license, it's active with no car, how to get around that, and what an SR22 is, and how you get around that. Like I said, there's no way around that. I'm so sorry. But I want to just kind of pop in and tell you what happens with those two things alongside describing to you the different types of insurance, because I know a lot of people does not know about the non-owner's policy. Y'all, that is so helpful. It is so helpful. You can get insurance without having a car, and then you don't have to worry about having a lapse in coverage and paying a penalty. Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Now you do. Now you know. Now you know. So now that you know, you can't use that excuse no more. Now, you guys, I really thank you so much for tuning into my channel, listening to me talk about car insurance, because I know, like I said, it can be boring. It can be so boring. But I'm here to make it exciting. I'm here to make it fun. I'm here to educate you guys. I'm here to make it informative. And I want you guys to be smarter when you're out there shopping for car insurance and when you're managing your policies, okay? Now, if you guys have any questions, like specific questions about your particular policy, then link up with me so that way we can sit down together and go over your policy. The way you do that is to go to my website at insuranceladyinfo.com and schedule yourself a consultation. I will actually sit down with you, look at your policy with you, and we're going to go over ways for how you can manage your policy and help you save money. I know that lowering car insurance rates right now is a big thing because inflation is hitting everybody and everybody ain't got it, okay? But that's what I specialize in. I specialize in helping you save money. So visit my website, insuranceladyinfo.com. Schedule yourself a consultation. That way we can go over your policy and I can help you pay lower rates. If you guys liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Again, I am going to be doing weekly videos, educational videos to help you guys out, okay? I know this information, but you don't. And I am your insurance consultant. So go ahead. I need you to like and subscribe to this video. I want to thank you guys for tuning into my channel. You have a wonderful day. Bye.